Is this the worst European final in history? And I mean in any competition. Of course, the Conference League didn't exist till 2-3 years ago. However, like the worst European final maybe ever. In terms of the genuine quality league level of both teams. Is the Premier League that far ahead that Brentford, Bournemouth, Wolves, you know, like, would these teams tear up the Europa League or something? Tottenham Hotspur plays Manchester United in what would be a game that happened. I don't know what to expect in this game, man. It's possible that both teams could lose. In this strange season where you've got a world where we are 2 games before the end of the season, and Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur not only 16th and 17th, but at the same time, I've barely even hit 40 points. 39 points for Manchester United and 38 points for Spurs. Spurs have lost 20 times in the league this year. Compare that to literally any other team in any other season of anyone that's ever gone down ever. Teams have gone down losing less games than that. When Burnley were relegated back in 22-23 under Sean Dyche, we had 17 losses all season. It's baffling. I can't actually put into words what's happened here. These players aren't bad. Like, you look at the team and yes, they've got injuries and whatever, but fuck, how? So comment down below your thoughts on this, because we're never going to see this again. Like, subscribe, Mazar Designs for the best prints, all made by myself. And yeah, this is insane. We've got a European final. It's not a Champions League. It's a Europa League. It's still respectful competition with 2 teams 16th and 17th in the league, and in any other like world would be near relegation candidates. The last time United won in the league, I'm trying to scroll up here, was Leicester on the 16th of March. It's been 2 months. 2 since they've won a Premier League game. They've only won, I think, 4 times in the league this year. So in 5 months, they've beat an incredible Southampton, Fulham, Ipswich, and Leicester. So congratulations, you've beat the 3 relegated sides and a Fulham. And then there's Spurs that can't even beat the relegated sides. They can lose to Leicester and they can lose to Ipswich. The last time Spurs won a game was Southampton, no surprise there. And then the next game before that was Ipswich. And then conveniently, Manchester United. Now, if you're taking everything out of it here, Spurs v United, Spurs this year should be the team that you should think should win this game. They've already played 3 times this season and Spurs have won every single game. 1-0 back in February, 4-3 back in the EFL Cup, and a 3-0 away win at Old Trafford. United have not beat Spurs in the last 6 games against them. And you know what it is? I like Ange more than Amorim in terms of his personality. And if the fact that he made the quote early on in the year saying that typically in his 2nd season he wins things, that's sticking with me. I'm living off that completely. And this means obviously so much more to Tottenham than it does Manchester United. Not as if it means nothing to United. It also means everything to them because they've got nothing else to hope on this year. But my God, Spurs needs to win this. And I think it's almost bound to happen. Harry Kane has won a trophy. He's won the Bundesliga. No matter what you think about the Bundesliga, no one cares. He's won a trophy. He's a winner. If both Harry Kane and Tottenham Hotspur can win a trophy in the same season, then my goodness gracious, there's a God. Now, I saw the game against West Ham for Manchester United, and I want to highlight one thing here because I saw the game and I've seen the reaction online. I've seen my friends talk about the game, and Rasmus Højlund, bro, you really need to sort yourself out because it's actually getting really bad. Like, yeah, he's good midweek, but even he made that look difficult for him to tap in. He actually is nothing. Like, he doesn't do anything. From everything I've seen, I don't know what he does. What he used to be is someone that can maybe, run into space and behind and do good runs and stretch out the defenders and make space for other players. He's not doing any of that. He's trying to do this kind of hold up job where he is aggressive with defenders and hold them off, and he can't do that because he's not actually that strong. So he's just doing nothing. And you got Amorim coming out in press match conferences looking genuinely angry, saying that if he doesn't change the culture next year, then he may not even be here anymore. Amorim has 6 wins in his 25 Premier League matches, which is that could make me. With Spurs playing Aston Villa, which they'll probably rotate players and may lose that game because they probably won't care about it, and then Brighton at home, there's a good chance that they won't even beat the 40-point mark. Same thing can be said for Manchester United, who also play Chelsea, who they're not going to play most of their team either. And then they got Aston Villa at home, who Aston Villa are a good side. United and Spurs this year may both fail to reach the genuine competency mark of hitting 40 points. And you know what? I can see here as well that United have got some, it's not even pre-season tour, it's after season tour, over in Asia, almost immediately. Lads, 3 days after they play Aston Villa to end the Premier League season, they're going over to what looks like to be Malaysia to go play ASEAN All-Star 11s. 3 days after the season's done. And then they've got what looks like a double header against Hong Kong as well. Lads, Jesus. Back to Spurs here. Spurs has the opportunity to change the club's ethos and identity. This season has been a failure, obviously, in every aspect other than Europe. And it's not like it was completely easy. People would think about the Bodo Glimt and thinking that, oh, well, I mean, they faced Bodo Glimt, so it must be easy. But they faced Frankfurt and they took them out, and that was not easy. Same thing with United. Real Sociedad was not an easy game. Lyon is not an easy game, and Athletic Club Bilbao is not an easy game. So United have not faced awful sides to get here. It's just apparently West Ham, Bournemouth and Brighton and Brentford are just better than all these teams. But the reality is, whoever loses this game is going to have a big problem. Because this entire miserable season can only be saved by winning this trophy, because they've basically sacrificed everything for this now. Similar to Mikel Arteta, that it seems like they can sacrifice the Premier League at some stage and other competitions to focus on the Champions League. And now they're out of the Champions League, so now they've got literally nothing left behind. That's going to happen, guaranteed, to one of these teams now. It must also make you feel sick if you're an Arsenal fan and you're seeing Chelsea in a European final, Conference League, but it's a European final. They can still win a European trophy. Spurs in a European final, United in a European final, Liverpool has won the Premier League, City in the FA Cup final, Newcastle won the Carabao Cup. Yeah, it sucks for them. Let's say whoever wins, will it just paper over the cracks? Whoever can win the Europa League and of course get into the Champions League, of course, will it just paper over the cracks of what needs to be done anyway? For both sides here. I think especially more for Manchester United, I think that it could paper over the cracks even more. I think Spurs kind of knows the situation, kind of where they're at. I have much more faith in Ange, personally. But again, I just like him as a person, so maybe that made me a bit biased there. But with United, I feel like, there's still players in there that is overpaid and maybe they'll be fully committed to it. A collection of players that is still been there for way too long. I mean, I saw Luke Shaw still playing for United last week, by the way, who ends up just randomly turning up 5 times a season. United has a cultural problem that it's like if you work for a company which had an awful culture, you could just feel it. The energy was not right. It was in the walls. Removing all the employees of this brand doesn't make it any less of an awful culture. It's just part of it. It's like the England national team had this smell of it, where it was in the walls, or the culture was just not right in the England national team. And then someone like Gareth Southgate came along and was purely all about forming that culture in the group, in the identity of what you are playing for. And that can be something said that maybe that's what Mikel Arteta has done at Arsenal as well. That is why people are so fond of him, no matter his lack of silverware in the last 5 years, his lack of success. It's part of the fact that he's took them from what was a dying football club, it felt like, and a culture of a club that was not aligned with its morals and its fans, to a club united again. And that is something that, well, united or not. But again, I can't say this about Spurs. I kind of feel like Spurs, they've got more of a self-awareness about the situation that they're in, and that the players that they realistically have, like, they could be great on their day, but are not like that top level, in my opinion. Spurs losing at home 2-0 to Crystal Palace, United losing 2-0 home to West Ham is just perfect. Spurs is obviously underweight in terms of how their squad is set up, that they cannot compete in all these competitions. They can't compete in Premier League and the Cup and also Europe. They can't do it. So they need to be invested heavily in the summer. So comment down below your thoughts, like, subscribe. I'm gonna love watching this final. This will be the worst European final in history in terms of the positions of the clubs involved. If you're asking me who I think will win the final, I think you already know. I'm back in Spurs. I'm back in Ange. That's me. Okay? I want to see that beautiful Aussie man say mate and lift the goddamn trophy. Enjoy your day.